Decades after capitalism seems to have triumphed over socialism, politicians are once again arguing about the merits and drawbacks of these opposing economic systems. Why are we still having this debate? Andy Puzder, former CEO of the parent company of Hardee's and Carl's Jr., explains the misconceptions that keep the debate alive. Let's do it. Yeah, guys, look, your chat shows up on screen now, so now you'll appear in the YouTube video. Don't say the N-word.
Capitalism versus socialism. We can sum up each economic system in one line. Capitalism is based on human greed. Socialism is based on human need, right? No.
I agree. No. I was about to say no, but he did it for... Oh, cool.
Wrong. So wrong. It's exactly backwards.
Oh.
And I'll prove it to you.
Oh.
Been on Amazon lately? Each
Yes.
of the thousands of products Amazon offers represents the work of people who believe they have something you want or need. If they're right, they prosper. If they're wrong, they don't. That's how the free market works.
What? So he's making the argument that supply-demand-based economic systems are based on human need rather than greed? They're both. It's both. People who are greedy make money off of meeting the needs of those who are needy. It's both. This means nothing. This is like a completely vacuous political take. It doesn't have any actual meaning. This greed versus need dichotomy is non-existent. In reality, people who are greedy under capitalism make money, and they do it by appealing to the interests of those who need things. Easy.
It encourages people to improve their lives by satisfying the needs of others.
Mm-hmm.
No one starts a business making a thing or providing a service for themselves.
Citation. Fucking needed. There are plenty of businesses that start off with nothing but like fucking investment traps, where all you're really doing is paying in money in the hope that they eventually produce a product or a service which is marketable. Also, this is kind of misleading, making a thing or providing a service for yourself. Maybe not, but there are plenty of businesses that start up making a thing or providing a service which is oriented not so much around meeting the needs of people, but rather around exploiting the needs of people. Like, for instance, if you go to fucking post-Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans, with a backpack full of water bottles you're selling for $12 each, sure, maybe you're meeting human needs by selling those water bottles to those impoverished fucking black kids. But is that a good thing? Are you really meeting people's needs there? Because they might need those $12 also.
Start a business to make things or provide services for others. I speak from personal experience. When I was the CEO of the company that owns Carl's Jr. and Hardee's restaurant chains, we spent millions of dollars every year trying to determine what customers wanted.
This is such a vacuous point. Yes, corporations and businesses make money by designing things people are interested in. No one is arguing against this. This is completely fucking vacuous. Yeah, like how noble. Don't you realize businesses create products for you? You ingracious swine. Okay.
If our customers didn't like something, we changed it, and fast. Because if we didn't, our competitors would, pun intended, eat us for lunch. The consumer, that's you, has the ultimate power. In effect, you vote with every dollar you...
Vote with your wallets. I don't know. Is this enough of like a libertarian meme that I don't actually need to pay attention? Like, do I actually need to respond to this? Jesus fucking Christ. Vote with your wallets. Yeah. There are no market failings to prevent people from being able to make conscientious and accurate decisions with their dollar. Yeah. There are no processes by which people can be encouraged to make the wrong decision with their money, like, say, through advertising, the multi-hundred fucking billion-dollar a year global industry that exists specifically to help people make decisions that are not in their best interest, to get them to buy the shit they don't need or buy shit which is suboptimal to the things they do need. That is literally what advertising is, and it is a billion-dollar business. Yeah. Vote with your fucking dollar. Yeah, I sure feel like I'm voting with my fucking wallet when I give money to my one ISP in the area. I sure do feel like I'm fucking meaningfully contributing to the discursive marketplace forces that will allow the better ISP to succeed here. Yeah, if I get a fucking hernia and have to be wheeled off to the hospital when I have to pay outrageous fucking fees over there because I don't have insurance and that was the only place the ambulance was going to take me. Yeah, I really feel like my dollars were just a vote. They were just a vote I cast. I really feel like I'm participating in a democratic process and not an economic arena in which one side of the playing field, the corporations, have infinitely more power, authority, and decision-making ability than any individual does. You know what? If you think individuals are the ones who control the businesses, why don't you just become a fucking individual, Mr. Dennis Prager? Stop with your corporate horse shit. Stop. Why live a life where you are beholden to the needs of us ungrateful masses? Why not just become one of the masses yourself? Apparently it's pretty fucking great down here.
You spend. In a socialist economy, the government has the ultimate power.
Okay, no, I can't respond to this because this dude has literally no fucking idea what socialism is, so none of the criticisms that he's going to levy at socialism are going to mean anything. He might as well have opened up with, in a socialist economy, the government can rape your daughters. In capitalism, we recognize the free right everyone has to personal autonomy. Remember, your rights end where my rights begin. But in socialism, daughter raping is an essential component. No, there's no, I can't respond to it. There's nothing to respond to. Let's have fun.
It decides what you get from a limited supply. It decides should exist.
No, not true.
Instead of millions of people making millions of decisions about what they want, a few people, government elites, decide what people should have and how much they should pay for it.
Wait, don't corporations do this? In both cases, you have two. For one, even in the straw man he's building, these are the corporations. The corporations decide what they want to give and how much you should pay for it. You can hem and haw about how the votes of the consumer determine this, but fuck it, in socialism, even in the straw man of socialism, these people would be voted in by the masses. These people are more accountable to the will of the masses than any corporation is to the interests of their constituents. And yet, we straw man this as being anti-democratic and anti-individual and da-di-da-di-da, when in reality, corporations are literally this. This is what corporations are and do. Capitalism is so fragile, it can't even hold up to a straw man of socialism.
Not surprisingly, they always get it wrong.
Wow.
Have you ever noticed that late-stage socialist failures always run out of essential items like toilet paper?
There has never been a late-stage socialist economy. That thing has literally never existed in humanity's history.
Of course, this isn't a problem for those who have the right connections with the right people. Those chosen few get whatever they want. But everyone else is out of luck.
Notice, by the way, how they can't help but appropriate the language of leftists. They always do this. Fucking Hitler with the National Socialism. Fucking the PragerU channels talking about how Hitler wasn't a nationalist, but he was a socialist. Them talking about identity politics and how they're identitarians now, rather than just, regular old racists and white supremacists. And now this late-stage socialism. Does he even fucking know what that means? Late-stage socialism? Tell me, what material conditions exactly are we describing when we describe a late-stage socialist society? They won't say it, because they don't know, because it's not a real thing. It's not real. It's just saying words that sound a little bit like the more authoritative leftist words, the best words that we like to employ.
Venezuela, once the richest country in South America, is the most recent example of socialism driving a prosperous country into an economic ditch.
For one, not socialism. For two, yeah, it turns out a U.S. embargo will do a lot to fuck with your economy, huh? Wow.
Now, maybe
Incredible.
You think it's an unfair
Amazing.
Example. I'm not sure why, but okay. We'll ignore the fact that leftist activists celebrated it as a great socialist success right up until it wasn't.
They didn't. That didn't happen. People have always been tentative about Maduro's regime in Venezuela. We have been cautiously optimistic about its ability to resist the embargo imposed on it by America and other nations, and to succeed in spite of the many economic challenges it has faced. But I have never once seen people proclaiming Venezuela has been a great socialist success. I have never seen this. Not in my life. Not once. And I talked to a lot of leftist people. I talked to some of the best leftists.
But what about Western European countries?
What about
Don't they have socialist economies?
Nope, they don't. No, they don't.
People seem pretty happy there.
They don't.
Why can't we have what they have?
Social
Free
democracies.
healthcare, free college,
Social
stronger unions. Good question. And the answer may surprise you. There are no socialist countries in Western Europe.
Wow.
Most are just as capitalist as the United States. The
Wow.
only difference, and it's a big one, is that they offer more government benefits than the U.S. does.
This is why I do not like it when people casually describe fucking Scandinavian countries, the Nordic countries, Norway and Sweden, what have you, as socialist. They're like, oh yeah, the socialist countries. Well, I know they're not really socialism. For one, it's not accurate. They're not socialist. The workers don't democratically control the means of production. Okay? So we got that out of the way. For two, it means dipshit fucking baldy four-eyed libcucks like this piece of shit chud motherfucker can then go on stage at Prager University, at the Prager University auditorium, and say, hey, you know all these socialist countries you like? They're actually capitalist. Everything good is capitalist. Ignoring the fact that the reason why people like these countries is because of their social spending and social democracy, which chuds like this fuckhead will then do everything in their power to prevent the propagation of in this country. He's wrong on every conceivable level. It's an attack from every angle. Incorrectness, falsity, fallaciousness coming at me from every direction like needles in a fucking pincushion.
We can argue about the cost of these benefits and the
Wow.
point at which they reduce individual initiative, thus doing more harm than good. Scandinavians have been debating those questions for years, but only a free...
Funny how every attempt at socialism gets jackbooted out of existence. Are you a chud or a chad? I was about to insult you, but then I realized that statement could be contextualized by a leftist, so... Are you a chud or a chad?
market capitalist economy can produce the wealth necessary to sustain all of the supposedly free stuff Europeans enjoy.
Citation needed. There is absolutely no evidence to suggest that. Gotcha. Thank you, Barbinger.
To get the free stuff, after all, you have to create enough wealth to generate enough tax revenue to pay for everything the government gives away.
Or, wait for it. What about we take advantage of the trillions of dollars that get hoarded offshore by businesses and we raise taxes and I don't know, what if we stopped pouring billions of dollars into sectors of the economy that don't affect the well-being of anyone besides a very, very small elite few? What if it turns out, and this is completely factually correct, by the way, that there was enough wealth in this country, in the United States of America, right now at this moment, to adequately sustain a middle-class lifestyle for every single person in here. Undocumented immigrant? Yes. Homeless person? Yes. Cisgender straight white male? Yes. Donald Trump? No. Get him out of here. But everyone else? Yes. We can do it. We have the power. This myth that capitalism is the only machine by which enough wealth can be generated to sustain this kind of human happiness is broadly false and extremely easy to disprove. What exactly about a democratic seizure of the means of production and communally owned workplaces would prevent this country, with its massive pool of labor, its wealth, its natural resources, the ingenuity and hard work of its constituents, from producing wealth necessary to sustain this nation? Absolutely nothing. There is nothing. There's absolutely nothing. But I don't even know why I'm saying this, because anyone who watches me through a fucking PragerU recommendation on this YouTube video I will inevitably make doesn't understand what socialism is, so there's no point. Like, they just think it's the government doing stuff.
Without capitalism, you're Venezuela.
Venezuela. Venezuela. Did you hear how he pronounced that? What?
Gives away. Without capitalism, you're Venezuela.
Amazing.
In a 2015 speech at Harvard, Denmark's prime minister took great pains to make this point. I know that some people in the U.S. associate the Nordic model with socialism. Therefore, I would like to make one thing clear. Denmark is far from a socialist planned economy. Denmark is a market economy.
Well, for one, this person is correct. For two, Denmark is a market economy. This stands in juxtaposition to one part of his statement, that Denmark is a planned economy. Planned economies and market economies are incompatible. Market economies and socialist economies are quite compatible. It's called market socialism. It's called anarcho-syndicalism. Markets can still exist outside of a capitalist society. Markets have existed for as long as humans have. There's nothing wrong with markets. They're a good way of assuring the right things go to the right people. All capitalism does is tell you who gets paid for it.
Economy. So when you point to Denmark as a paragon of socialism, you're really singing the praises of capitalism.
Wow.
The more capitalism, the less socialism you need.
That's how it works.
Look at America since 2017.
Wow. That's how it works. That's how politics works.
Capitalism, the less socialism you need.
This is political economy. When you pour juice into the capitalism jug, the socialism jug goes down because it evaporates. It's a thermodynamic law. Wow, thank you.
Look at America since 2017. A policy of low...
What's the x-axis mean? What's the y-axis mean? What the fuck is this?
Lower taxes and less government regulation. That's more capital.
Thank you, Trump. The economy has gone up threefold thanks to his lessened government regulation and taxes. I mean, taxes on my parents went up. I hear taxes went down on the uber rich. That's pretty cool. Wow, let's watch it again.
A policy of lower taxes and less government regulation.
Wow!
And that's more capitalism. Has led to a robust economic expansion, something thought impossible just a few years earlier. Unemployment, notably among minority groups, typically most...
Oh, we gotta bring in the blacks and the wombs. We gotta bring in the blacks and the femoids. That's how you know they're repping with the progressives right now. Hey, idiot lefty, you want socialism? Huh. Didn't you know that capitalism is doing better for the blacks and pussy people with the boobies? Did you know that? I bet you didn't.
At risk for poverty is at a generational low. Economic expansion gets people off welfare and into work.
Wow, yes, welfare is bad. Supply side economics haven't been disproven over and over again every year, every decade, in every fucking example, in every presidential administration since the 1960s. Incredible. Amazing. I'm actually going to lose it from this video. This video is actually especially dumb for a Prager University video.
That's less socialism.
Wow.
None of this requires...
Wait, that's less socialism? So welfare has to do... So less welfare means less socialism? So welfare is socialism then, right? So does that mean Norway and Sweden and fucking the other Scandinavian countries are also socialist? This video contradicts its own point. This is amazing! Incredible! How do you make so many wrong points and then still manage to contradict two separate wrong points? The only correct thing he said this entire time is that fucking Denmark and shit aren't socialist. And then he goes around and says they're socialist because welfare is an indicator of socialism. It's incredible.
To work, that's less socialism.
Wow.
None of this requires a degree in economics.
Evidently not. No, it very clearly doesn't, my friend. The things you have said do not belie a substantial academic understanding of the subject. Let us move on.
Common sense is all you need. That's why it's so frustrating.
Common sense conservatism.
Frustrating to see young people.
Why is this guy unbuttoning the top button of his suit jacket? Does this not fit him properly? Isn't this guy a multimillionaire? You're supposed to unbutton the bottom button. I guess you can unbutton the top button if you're a fucking loser. I don't know. I guess I've seen some people do that.
Praising socialism and criticizing capitalism.
Amazing.
It's bad enough that they're working against their own interest. Better job prospects, better wages, personal freedom. But they're also working against the interest of the less fortunate. Capitalism leads to economic democracy.
We care about the poors too. Also, capitalism is definitely not fundamentally antithetical to democracy, where corporations use their money to leverage power and buy interest in the elected representative leaders and use it to enforce their will on the economy. Corporations definitely don't just write out bills and then present them to lawmakers to sign. This doesn't happen. Capitalism is freedom. All right.
Socialism leads to the economic dictatorship of the elite.
Wow.
Always.
Wait, the economic dictatorship of the elite, like over them or propagated by them? Okay. I mean, capitalism does too. I don't know. I don't feel very democratic when my fucking internet bill goes up from $70 a month to $85 a month, and I look at why, and their statement on it's basically, we felt we should charge more for this service, and it's still like 1/80th of what it would be over in South Korea or in Japan or some shit, because they actually have like decent internet, but ours just costs a fuck ton because our businesses really like money, I guess.
And everywhere. So beware what you ask for. You just might get it.
Wow.
I'm Andy Puzder, the author of The Capitalist Comeback for Prager University.
Cool, great. This video was made possible by a generous donation. Absolutely. Everything in this, the production value demonstrated in this video from this multi-million-dollar propaganda network could have only existed with a generous donation. Imagine donating to PragerU. Imagine donating to this funded fucking multi-million-dollar propaganda network that has distribution across ads all across YouTube, gets seen by millions of people, and thinking, yes, I want them to have more of my money. Oh, fucking nation! All right. How fun has this been?